You ever get that feeling, that gut feeling that someone isn't being totally straight with you, even though their words sound just fine? Well, that's your brain picking up on a silent language, the one our bodies are speaking all the time. So let's dive into that. We're going to use the incredible work of former FBI agent Joe Navarro to figure out what every body is really saying.
Okay, picture this. You're in an FBI interrogation room. There's a guy there, not even a prime suspect, being questioned about a murder. The agent is just going through a list of possible weapons: a gun, a knife, a hammer. The suspect? Cool as a cucumber. But then the agent says, ice pick. And that was the secret murder weapon. For just a split second, the man's eyelids clamped shut. It's a tiny, tiny little movement. But in that one moment, the entire case just broke wide open.
So you have to ask, right? How could a simple eye flutter be so powerful? How could it give away a secret that his words were so carefully trying to hide? Well, that question gets right to the heart of what we're talking about today. The idea that while our mouths can lie, our bodies, well, our bodies often can't help but tell the truth.
To really get this, we need to meet the man himself, Joe Navarro. This isn't just some theorist. He was an FBI counterintelligence agent for decades. His job wasn't just about chasing bad guys, it was about reading them. He spent his entire career decoding those subtle, nonverbal signals that people give off, especially when they're under pressure. He's the real deal. So let's get into the why behind all this. I mean, why do our bodies react in these weird ways without our permission? It all starts in a very specific and very, very old part of our brain that moves way faster than our conscious thought. So here's the key thing to understand. Our brain has different layers. You've got your modern thinking brain, the part that can plan and strategize and, well, lie. But underneath that is the limbic brain. You can think of it as your honest brain. It doesn't think, it just reacts. It's hardwired for survival, and its responses are immediate, reflexive, and totally unfiltered. And that's where the truth starts to leak out. And when that limbic brain senses any kind of threat, it could be a lion on the savannah or just a really tough question from your boss, it triggers one of three responses, always in this order. First, we freeze, like a deer in the headlights. We hold perfectly still. If that doesn't work, we look for a way out. That's the flight response. And only when we're trapped, as a last resort, do we fight. These ancient survival programs are still running the show today. Now, this is where Navarro's work gets really brilliant, because he simplifies everything. He says, look, forget about trying to become some kind of human lie detector. It's too complicated. Instead, just focus on observing two basic states: comfort and discomfort. Is the person in front of you relaxed, happy, and confident? Or are they showing signs of stress, anxiety, and tension? That simple difference is your most reliable guide to what's really going on. But before you go out and start decoding everyone, you need to know the rules of the road. First, and this is a big one, context is everything. A guy crossing his arms might be defensive, or he might just be cold. Second, never, ever trust a single gesture. One little tick means nothing. You have to look for clusters, 2, 3, or 4 signals all telling the same story. And third, you have to establish a baseline. You need to know how someone acts when they're relaxed to have any chance of spotting when they're not. All right, now for the fun stuff. We're going to take a tour of the human body, just like a profiler would. And we're going to start with the one part that Joe Navarro says is, without a doubt, the most honest part of the body. And believe it or not, it's our feet and legs. Now, why is that? Well, think about it. From the time we're little kids, we're told to smile, to control our facial expressions, to put on a poker face. But has anyone ever told you to control your feet? Nope. They're the farthest from our brain, we pay the least attention to them, so their reactions are often the most pure and honest. And this just perfectly illustrates that comfort versus discomfort model. When someone's feeling good or confident or they hear great news, you might see what Navarro calls happy feet. They start bouncing or wiggling with genuine joy. But when they feel uncomfortable or just want to get out of there, their feet will literally point toward the nearest exit. Their body might be politely facing you, but their feet are telling you exactly where they'd rather be. You'll start seeing this everywhere now. Okay, let's move up the body to the torso and the arms. Deep down, that limbic brain is obsessed with protecting our vital organs. So we use our torso and arms as both shields to keep us safe and as signals to claim our space. When we feel comfortable and safe with someone, we do something called ventral fronting. It just means we expose our vulnerable front side to them. But the second we feel a little threatened or we disagree with what's being said,
We instinctively shield ourselves. We cross our arms, we might grab a pillow, or even just button up a jacket. We're creating a physical barrier. Our hands are also incredibly telling. One of the biggest tells for high confidence is called steepling, when someone presses their fingertips together. You'll see CEOs and world leaders do this all the time. But on the flip side, when we're stressed, our brain sends our hands on a mission to calm us down. These are called pacifying behaviors: touching the neck, wringing our hands, rubbing our face. They're basically instant billboards for discomfort. So, all of these discomfort cues naturally bring us to the one question that everybody wants to know the answer to. Can you actually use all this to catch a liar? It's the million-dollar question, isn't it? We see someone start to fidget or touch their neck, and we immediately think, aha, gotcha, you're lying. But is it really that simple?
And according to a man with 25 years of FBI field experience, the answer is a hard no. In fact, he says trying to find one specific tell for lying is a fool's errand that just leads to a lot of mistakes and false accusations.
And this is maybe the most important takeaway from his entire book. Navarro is crystal clear. There is no Pinocchio effect. There is no single gesture or twitch that automatically means this person is lying. In fact, study after study shows that most people, and that includes cops and judges, are no better than a coin toss at spotting a lie. Why? Because the behaviors for stress can look exactly like the behaviors for lying.
So we have to go back to that more powerful, more reliable model. Stop looking for the lie, start looking for the discomfort. When you see someone touch their neck, the important question isn't, are they lying? The much smarter question is, what did I just say or do that caused them to feel stressed? That's the real key, finding the source of the discomfort.
This real-life case study shows it perfectly. Agents ask a mother if her fugitive son is in the house. Every single time she says no, her hand instinctively goes to that little dimple at the base of her neck, a classic self-soothing gesture. Now, the agents didn't think, aha, she's lying. They thought, wow, the question about her son being in this house is causing her extreme stress. That was enough. They investigated further, and sure enough, they found him hiding in a closet. See the difference?
Okay, we've covered a ton of ground. So how can you actually start putting all this amazing knowledge to use in your own life? Let's build a simple little toolkit you can start with. Here are 3 simple things you can start practicing today. First, start by watching people's feet. Seriously, they'll tell you if someone is happy and engaged or if they're dying to leave. Second, always look for clusters of behavior. Remember, a single gesture is just noise. A pattern is a real signal. And finally, and this is the most important one, train your brain to stop looking for lies and start looking for that simple binary: comfort versus discomfort. It is the most accurate and reliable window you have into what a person is truly feeling. The people all around you, every single day, are broadcasting their true feelings and intentions through this rich, silent language. Once you learn how to see the signs, the world becomes a much clearer and, frankly, a much more interesting place. So the only question left is, your body is talking. Are you listening?